What's up, everybody? We are here. We are here. We are here. First of all, disclaimer. I know I said this video was dropping tonight, but it's being recorded tonight. The amount of energy that I know I'm about to expend to talk about what we got to talk about Comic-Con and everything that Marvel just dropped, it's going to take me past my limit to edit this video. So, you're watching this video tomorrow. It's probably already tomorrow based on the time, but man, what a day. 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 What a day from Marvel at San Diego Comic-Con. Remember, Marvel did not show up last year because they did not want to spoil anything because of what was coming with Endgame. So they just said, nope, we're not showing you. We're not even showing up. We're not even talking about nothing. We're not showing nothing. We're just going to let y'all ride, and you're going to wait till next year till Endgame come out. And Endgame is out, and now Endgame is the #1 box office movie of all time. So shout out to Marvel for that. But before I get started, I want to talk about something that really grinds my gears. It's something that really I despise. I really, really despise it, and it's fake news. When in times like these, we are in a world of where information travels very fast. Back in the day, if we found somebody on TV, it took a while to call everybody on the phone and say, hey, did you see that happened on TV? No, I didn't. Go turn on the news. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. I missed it. I'm going to have to watch it when the news comes back on at 10. Who remembers those days? Those are the days that we used to live in. But now we're in the days where everything is instantaneous. It's dropping by the millisecond sometimes. And we get a lot of posts and stuff in this superhero genre world that we live in, and people are sharing the stuff without doing the fact checking. Sometimes you just have to have a keen eye, because one thing I don't like is people who really love these different fandoms believing things that are not true because people are sharing them, and they're sharing stuff that is not factual. Not factual. It creates false narratives. It creates false toxicity, and it creates fandom toxicity inside of fandoms, because people are saying stuff and they believe, hey, this is going to happen or that's going to happen. This is going to happen or that's going to happen, and that's not the truth. And we got to stop that. So going forward, guys, that's what we always make sure we're going to provide you with consistent quality content. And we even made a disclaimer post earlier this week saying, hey, look, anything that you're seeing about Marvel or any other type of property, do not believe it, because 5:15 p.m. Pacific time, PT. I know you see it on your TV screen sometime when you watch TV, and they say, coming up next, 7 Central, 8, 9 PT or whatever. And you know what I'm talking about. That's the time that Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios were going to hit the stage at Hall H in San Diego. That's the time that was going to happen. So about 7:35 my time here in Alabama, the news started rocking. It started rocking right then and there. And that's when the facts started coming out. So guys, please make sure we're factual with the stuff. That's enough about that on my soapbox. Let's get into this conversation, guys. I don't want to keep you all night. Let's talk about some Marvel TV first. Now, of course, we got to pay respects to our fallen Marvel TV shows, Punisher, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and the Defender series. They are no longer with us. They have all been canceled. They have all had their last swan songs. I have not even watched Punisher season 2 yet. I have not watched Punisher season 2 yet. I'll get to it one of these days. I really will. But now we're in the world of Disney Plus. Disney Plus is a streaming service that is coming up this year. You'll be able to go ahead and purchase it. It's going to have more than just Marvel stuff. You're going to have your Fox stuff that they got from some of the stuff they got from Fox. You're supposed to have the Simpsons, all type of shows, Star Wars stuff, all type of stuff is going to be the Disney Plus streaming service. But you know what we're caring about? We're caring about the stuff that's connected to the MCU. Now hold on, let me get a drink of water, because I already knew what type of town this is going to be. All right. Good. Let's go. All right. So one of the things we got a lot of announcements. There were several movies and TV shows that are dropping in 2021. One of the first one is going to be an animated series called What If. Now, a lot of you guys remember the What If comic series from back in the day, where they pit a lot of superheroes in certain instances, like what if this happened to this character, what if that happened to that character, what if this happened to this villain, what if that happened to that villain. And this is going to be animated series, MCU based, because a lot of the MCU actors are going to be reprising their voice roles, but it's going to be animated. That right there in itself is freaking amazing. We got the WandaVision show that's coming out in 2021. For me, I thought this show was going to be set sometime in the past in some type of world where Wanda had created for herself, where she's with Vision, because we know Vision perished in the events of Avengers Infinity War. We have not seen anything from him since, but I firmly believe that some of the technology from Vision is still in those computers in Wakanda. I'm a firm believer of that. Amen. But this is going to be the events after Endgame, and Monica Rambeau. We met little Monica Rambeau in Captain Marvel, but she is going to be grown up and she's going to be in this series. Now, we don't know if she's going to have powers yet. We don't know. That's kind of up in the air right now. But one thing I want to say about these shows right here, of course, like I said, we had our Marvel Netflix shows, which were aside to the MCU. But these shows were listed today as a part of Phase 4. These shows are fully integrated into the storylines of what's going to happen in Phase 4 and from the MCU as itself. They are part and partial a part of the MCU. Of course, we got shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Inhumans, and you got Cloak and Dagger, you got Runaways, and those shows are kind of sit off to the side, but they're not fully a part of it. No, these shows are a part of a phase. So that's one thing that really sticks out to me, and I think that right there in itself is so amazing about how these shows are going to. They are like they share the same blood. That's what you can look at it like that. They share the same blood. We got the Loki show coming out in 2021 as well. It's been officially confirmed that Loki is completely dead. This is the Loki from Avengers Endgame that got the Tesseract and got away. That's where this alternate universe is going to come from. Who knows what else comes up from that as well. We got the Hawkeye show that's going to introduce Kate Bishop, as who was also another form of Hawkeye, or took on the monocle or mantle of Hawkeye in the comics. And one of the most anticipated shows that everybody's waiting on is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show. That is the title of it. They showed up at Comic-Con today, and Anthony Mackie had the shield on his arm. Cut the check, baby. Cut the check, as Anthony Mackie would say. Okay, no, I'm not gonna talk about that episode of Black Mirror. Anywho, there's so much more coming up, man. Let's talk about the movie. Let's talk about the movie. We talked about the television shows and how, like I said, they're fully integrated into what's going on in the MCU, and that in itself is so beautiful. I'm so glad they're doing that. But we're going to these movies, man. These movies. They really dropped some stuff on us today, like big time. We got Black Widow. We knew Black Widow was coming. Black Widow is dropping in 2020. It's going to have David Harbour from Stranger Things, who just so happens to be playing a Russian hero. And of course, Scarlett Johansson with her fine self is coming back. We got the Eternals, and for everybody who's been waiting for Angelina Jolie to come into the MCU, she's here, everybody. She's here. Angelina Jolie will star in the Eternals. Also, Selma Hayek. Now, don't y'all know Selma Hayek look good. Now, she is going to be in the Eternals movie as also. Now, one thing that kind of puzzled me a little bit is Thor 4. It's going to be called Thor: Love and Thunder. It's dropping in 2021. We will see the return of Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson, and shockingly, Natalie Portman, who is going to bring her role back as Jane Foster as the Mighty Thor. Yes, Lady Thor is here. Lady Thor is in the building. She is going to be in the show. There was a bug flying, so it may look like I'm expressing myself with my hands, but I'm trying to brush it away. Go away. But Natalie Portman is coming back. Now, there's a lot of explaining to do, MCU. You got it, because we know what happens to Lady Thor in the comics, how she gets the power of Thor, all of that good stuff. Hopefully, as the closer we get to it, we'll find out more about it. Now, here's one thing that a lot of people were looking at. They're like, where's Black Panther 2? Where's Doctor Strange 2. Doctor Strange 2, of course, was named. But I meant to say, where's Fantastic Four? Where's Guardians 3? Where's Captain Marvel 2? Where's X-Men? Phase 4 is only 2 years long. It starts with Black Widow in May of 2020, which is next year, and it ends with Thor 4 in November of 2021. And then we go into Phase 5, which of course will include Captain Marvel 2, Black Panther 2, X-Men, the Fantastic Four, something else that we're going to talk about a little bit later, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, because James Gunn is back at the helm of that. We were really supposed to get Guardians 3 in 2021 after all the James Gunn stuff happened, all that hoopla or whatever. But it's coming. That all of that is going to come in Phase 5. You already know that's Phase 5, because Phase 4 is locked. We got ourselves a Phase 4. That's what we're talking about now. It just blows my mind how Marvel is always a step ahead. And when I say a step ahead, it brings me up to my next point with Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now you're like, 10 Rings sounds familiar. It sounds like something from Iron Man 3, where they did this faux Mandarin, not real Mandarin, but they always, that'll be one of the asterisks. It's kind of like Kevin Durant going to the Golden State Warriors after. Never mind. Okay, so that'll be an asterisk on Marvel's the MCU for a long time. About when it comes to the not doing the Mandarin as a whole, they're kind of faking everybody out, thinking that they're really going to get the Mandarin. If you really want to see a good Iron Man versus Mandarin story, go check out this show. It's an animated movie. It's on Hulu, I believe. Just search Iron Man on Hulu, and it should pop up. But Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, this is where we get the Mandarin. Point blank, the Mandarin is coming. Real talk. I'm a firm believer of it. Another movie coming up is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, my boy Jeremy Evans, me and him were talking earlier, and okay, you got to go. All right, go away. All right, so my boy Jeremy Evans, we were talking earlier, and he mentioned something without having the full details on it, and when I filled in those gaps for him, he almost threw his phone across the room. So, what he told me in his best, he said his best theory about this Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, he said it goes along with House of M. House of M, multiverse, Wanda losing her mind and creating this alternate universe where her and Vision had children, something happening with mutants, all that good stuff during that comic run. We're not going to get too deep into it because we'll be all day talking about that because it is a long, complicated, complex story. And he said that, but he did not know that Elizabeth Olsen was going to be starring in this movie. In the words of Jeremy Evans, this is where the mutants come in. This is where it gets real. The mutants will come out of this somehow. And another thing that they mentioned about this movie was that it was going to be a scary type movie. I mean, we're talking about madness, just madness. So it makes me wonder, because these Disney Plus shows are integrated into the MCU now, what's going to happen in WandaVision that bleeds off into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? Something is going to happen there. Also, will we get to see a full-fledged Dormammu? Will we meet? I believe we're supposed to be Nightmare. And will we catch up to what Baron Mordo has been doing since the events of the first Doctor Strange? So I'm very, very, very excited for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It's just beautiful what Marvel has done and what they're continuing to do. Now, there's one thing I'm going to say for last, but I want to go off into Fantastic Four. We didn't get a lot of heat about it, but Kevin Feige in this presentation, he was like, we didn't get a chance to talk about Fantastic Four. He said Black Panther 2 is in development, Captain Marvel 2, Guardians 3, Mutants, all of that is coming. And I'm so excited. I wonder what they're going to do with these properties. Again, these are definitely going to be Phase 5 properties. But I truly believe that we're going to get introduced to some, if not all, of the Fantastic Four characters spaced out maybe between these movies. And if I had to guess where we would find one of these characters, it's kind of hard. I believe it could happen with the TV shows. What if Reed Richards just kind of pops up on the radar or some type of news report, or we get mention of the Baxter Building or something of that nature, I believe that's they can easily siphon that into that, because again, these shows, these Disney Plus shows are part and parcel of they are part of Phase 4. They are Phase 4. So I really believe that that's where that can be slid into. I truly do. After he said all of that about what movies that they were looking at and still talking about and in development, he said, we got one more thing. And he introduces Mahershala Ali, who you guys know played Cottonmouth in Luke Cage. So at this point, we bringing Mahershala Ali on stage. Cottonmouth don't count anymore, although that is one of the greatest MCU villains, or Marvel villains or whatever, that we've seen in live action. Of course, can't call it part of the MCU anymore. It's like, well, what is he finna do? And he's like, well, normally whenever it's kind of like here's the cool thing about Hall H with Marvel. Whenever they introduce new celebrities to join the MCU, it's kind of like college signing day, where the kid's like, well, thought about it long and hard, and I'm gonna take my talents too. And then they put a baseball cap on. They pick the baseball cap to basically say that that's where they're gonna go to play ball or go to school, yada yada yada, whatever. He said, well, Mahershala, it looks like you brought your own cap. This man flaps the cap, put it on his head. You really can't see what it says. The people at Hall H probably can really see. And the room gets dark, and the freaking word Blade comes up on the screen. I was done right then and there. There was nothing else you could tell me. There's nothing else that the MCU could tell me. The fact that you just announced Mahershala Ali is going to be Blade. Now, my man Kevin Garland always says one thing. He says, when these actors go into these auditions and they leave out with the role, that means that what happened in that audition room, they wanted that actor. Now, we've been hearing Wesley Snipes talking for the last about the last year and a half, maybe even 2 years or so, saying that he's been in talks with Marvel to do something with Blade. And I love my man Kevin, because his quote goes so far, vastly across not even just the MCU but all of these movies. His point is so important that when an actor goes into a room and gets selected for a role, even if we don't agree with the role, us outside here, YouTubers and just people alike, that means that they went in there and they did what the company was looking for. But I personally believe that Wesley Snipes, now of course it's probably really not how it happened, but I believe Wesley Snipes, he's just that bold of a brother, went in that room and said, look, if you don't get Mahershala, we're not doing it. And they got Mahershala. You mean tell me Mahershala Ali is going to be Blade? I'm so ready for this. They didn't even announce the release date or anything. They just said that that's what's coming. So could it happen? Could it also happen in Phase 4? Or could this be a Phase 5 movie? Could this also be a Disney Plus TV show? Me personally, I believe that this will be a movie, but we don't know right now. We really don't know. So we're just speculating. It's a lot to deal with, man. This was an eventful evening. This was a very eventful evening. I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits here. I want to know what you guys thought about Marvel at San Diego Comic-Con this year. So much news dropped, so much stuff dropped. It was freaking epic. It was freaking beautiful. Let me know in the comments below how you feel. Drop that stuff in the comments, your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, your likes, your dislikes, whether you watch this on YouTube or Facebook. We appreciate everything you guys do for us here on the channel, and we'll see you guys in another video.